Hello and welcome to our next lesson. This lesson will be covering two methods, place by order and test by order. Last time we stopped at the Schwab client PI file and we covered the method extract price from response. According to our plan, next comes place by order and test by order. This is something that we are going to do today. So let's start. Place by order, and this will be self, this will be symbol as a string, it will be shares, which will be integer, and account hash, again string, order type, which will be string and equal to market. Our orders will be market based, and it will return maybe optional dictionary. Once again, this is our defined function where we provide the symbol, the number of shares, account hash, and order type as attributes to it. Our comment for this will be placing by orders using Schwab API. First, as usual, comes our token validation. Let's copy and paste it from the methods above. Copy and paste. Again, this is our regular action. We are checking first before executing the method if our authentication token is valid. Now, if so, try. If not, then we will go with the refresh. Headers equal to authorization. Which is bearer fstring bearer cell config access token. Let's remove this one. Next. Here. Next will be accept what type we are going to accept, type of the data we are going to accept. It's application JSON. Let's put this into bits and okay. And after this, we are going to use content type, again application JSON, and don't recall what I'm doing wrong here, so please just bear with me for a second. String bearer, and it should be so. Okay. let's leave it as it is, and we will continue with our code, then come back to this to find out what we did wrong. Next, what we are going to do, we are going to build order payload using Schwab format. Our order data will include order type, session will be normal, something is wrong with me today, so please bear with me. Duration, which will be day. We're doing our orders active for 1 day period. Order strategy type is another field that we are going to use, and this will be single order. We are not going to run multiple orders at once. Then order log collection, which is the list, and nested in the list goes dictionary. Instruction would be by. The quantity will be equal to shares value, and the instrument will be another dictionary. You see how nested this is, which is symbol, be symbol upper, and asset type, that would be an equity. Okay. We do wrong here. Nothing, but still we see some errors highlighted. Now it's fixed, and this one, application JSON, application JSON. The one space has ruined everything for us. And let's have auto alignment done for this. Wonderful. Now we are going to use the endpoint. Or we're going to announce what endpoint we're going to use. Fstring self trader URL, and then accounts, account hash, and then orders. This one is a correct endpoint for us, which is concatenated from the trader URL, which we declared above, the /accounts. This is the directory, account hash, which we covered last time, and orders. And just for our safety, we are printing here the F string, trying to access endpoint, and then endpoint. Okay. After this, we are adding self-logger info, and another logger information, but this one will be related only to the order itself. Info, let's get back to this, trying to execute. Of symbol stocks. Okay. Now response in this case will be request post endpoint headers, and JSON will be ordered data. You remember previously we were doing get request. Now this one is post request because we are going to send the information to our endpoint on Schwab side. Now after all this is done, we need to have a status check to understand how did our order went. And the interesting part here is that for our get requests, the code for success was 200, and for here code is 201. So we need to make sure to reflect that effectively in our code. If response status code is equal to 201, not 200, you saw IDE also suggested 200. Print order placed successfully. I don't know why I started to write capitalized in here. Self logger info successfully or stop. And while we are modifying this, let's also make sure that by order, because this method covers the by section. Now what we want, if it is successful, we need to extract our order ID. Each order has its unique ID, so we need to have it for our logging reasons. Order ID equals to none. If location, bear with me, we will cover this later on. In response headers, location equals to response headers location, and order ID is location split the symbol slash symbol 1 minus 1 if we're again playing the safety thing, adding this check, but it should be in location else none. Sorry, not none. Else location. Okay, now with all this, we are going to return. We are going to return a bunch of stuff. I'll tell you that. Success, true. Symbol, symbol. Shares, shares, not quantity of shares. Order type. So basically we are wrapping all the response into our method, so later on whenever this method will be called and executed, all of this data will be provided among it. Order ID equals to order ID, status code equals to response status code, location will be response headers location, get location, and yeah, I'll leave. Now let's add one more thing. There is another parameter here, correlation ID, which comes from response. So that's I'll cover it later on. Why do we need it? Response headers get, not correlation ID per se, but Schwab and correlation ID. Or if it's empty, just be empty. And this was our if. Now covering else. What if anything goes wrong? Print order placing failed. Logger self logger error. Order failed. And we want to show here the response status code, and also we want to return the complete failure information. Okay, this one is done too, and in this case what we are going to return success false, our symbol status code response status code error will be our response text. And doing this, we covered almost everything. Now let's get back to the trial level and cover the exception part. Except exception as E, print error while executing order. Let's return E. looks to be added, self order error, order failed, and here we'll return success false, symbol. Basically, again the same as in previous part, but a bit different. Shares will be shares, and error will be stringified E. Okay, we didn't cover the second part yet, so let's cover that one too. Test by order, self, symbol, that would be a string, shares, again that would be integer, and what we are going to get in response, that would be boolean. Okay. But you know what, let's probably finish the part of this, and later on the next lesson we will continue with test by order. So this one too. So let's go first of all the very beginning of our method. As I told you, we start with the validation of the token, checking if it is correct. If not, we're just after refreshing it. Next, we are setting up the headers, what we are going to provide to execute our request. Our OAuth code, we want JSON format back and sending JSON format ourselves. Order data or the payload, that what we are going to submit within our request. It should be basically order type. It's order type parameter. It can be either market or limit. We're placing it to be executed during normal session, which is the regular hours. Duration expires at my market close, so for the day. We are going with the simple single order. Here, basically, we went through all of this in our methods. So, asset type, we are just making sure that this is an equity, not options. For options, we will cover it later after completing the main build. Now we are making the request here with this endpoint and logging information whenever we try it, and logging the response, what it should be. Again, post method, and we are waiting for the response from the Schwab API endpoint, providing the headers, and within the JSON file we are providing our order data, which we covered a bit above. Now, if the code is executed successfully and we got 201 response code, we are placing that this was successful. Okay. Let me have one typo here and here too. If the code is 201, it means the order placed successfully, and we are logging at that information, while the order ID we are getting in locations header and filtering it out from those with the URL structure. We will get back the URL, which will include orders / some numbers, and that number, so basically what we are saying here is that we are going to get the latest string after this symbol. And what we are returning, the location, and we are returning the success as Boolean parameter, which shows whether order was executed successfully or not. We are returning for what symbol it went, how many shares, order type, order ID, which we just got here, the location from headers, and correlation ID. And if it is failed, if something went wrong, we are returning that we didn't got what we wanted for this symbol, and we got this status code and the following error. And we are handling exception in the same manner. So this is it. Let me click cover place by order. Next time we'll have the two test methods for by order, and we will continue from there. And this session is adjourned. Thank you for your time. See you at the next lesson.